Rush Duel is a fast-paced spin-off game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Where you can summon as many monsters as you want and draw up to 5 cards each turn. In this series, me and the TheDrAlex progress through each Rush Duel product release and build decks with whatever cards were available at that time. We have been drafting characters from the Yu-Gi-Oh! 7's anime and have exclusive access to those characters' boss monsters, and will continue to draft characters from the Yu-Gi-Oh! Go Rush series. Join us as we continue to battle it out in this series, Rush Duel Character Draft.
Yeah, activate 0 Geigen, yes.
Yeah, get the extra.
Can only do the one. Yeah, go battle.
Ow. I don't know if I misplayed this
Show
game.
for the blue eyes.
Wait a minute.
But
What just happened? How did I die? Oh, you can attack 2 monsters. Right.
yeah,
Megaroad Pack was released on June 4th, 2022, and includes new support for 7's anime characters. Since Alex has Ushiro, he'll receive Dark Skeleton, Dead Ruler, a 2500 attack monster that can send a zombie from hand to grave to gain 1000 attack and burn the opponent. Otis introduces Magician of Dark Sevens, a 2800 attack fusion monster that gains 300 attack for each dark spellcaster in the graveyard and protects you from battle damage involving your other monsters. And Darkness Zero Rogue, a weak monster that when special summoned can destroy all level 8 or lower monsters on the opponent's field. Zoe introduces Cyberstein Shrine, a 2500 attack zombie that can revive up to 2 level 4 or lower normal zombies from the graveyard. I will be taking Otis and Oriental Tiger, and Alex will have Gabumi and Zoe. So, this is the deck we're bringing to today's game. This is Dark Spellcasters. So, there are 2 ways you can basically play Spellcasters. One is the 7's Robe Magician, kind of all the elements build, where you try and fill your graveyard with all the different attributes, and then try and boost 7's Robe Magician as high as possible. Or there is the all dark version, which is what we're playing here today. So, we are playing as many different named and different leveled dark monsters as possible, and you'll find out why in a little bit. So, we're on 1 copy of Dark Sorcerer, 1500 vanilla, 3 copies of 7's Robe Magician, this card doesn't need any explanation, 3 copies of a new card, Darkness Zero Rogue. So, if you have 8 or more dark attribute spellcast type monsters in your graveyard during the main phase that you special summon this card, destroy all level 8 or lower monsters on your opponent's field. So, you need 8 or more dark attribute spellcaster type monsters in your graveyard. So we got to have just a lot of cards in the graveyard, and this card has to be special summoned to meet its requirements. We need lots of ways to special summon it. So it's a bit of a wonky card, and its stats are kind of crap, but we need it for a fusion, so we'll talk about that in a little bit. Next up, 7's Red Witch. Again, a card doesn't need any explanation. When we use this effect, we can discard a card to special summon 7's Red Magician or Darkness Zero Rogue, fulfilling the requirement for Zero Rogue of it being special summoned. Next, we're on 1 copy of 7's Red Warlock. This is in here primarily because it is a different level and it is a different name. But on the off chance we are playing a lot of traps, so if we slide some in, for example, we can send a trap from hand to the graveyard, add a level 7 or higher Dark Spellcaster type monster from your graveyard to your hand. If you added 7's Red Magician to your hand by this effect, you can add 1 level 6 or higher Spellcaster type monster from your graveyard to your hand. So, a niche effect probably isn't going to come up. 3 copies of 7's Red Sorcerer. Send 3 face-up monsters from your field to the graveyard, special summon a level 7 or lower spellcaster monster from your graveyard face up. And if it was 7 Red Magician, we can also bring back 7's Red Witch. This can be really important because both of those monsters can fuse together. So this could be a almost 2-card fusion. If we draw this card and we have 2 monsters on the field already, or we have 2 just random monsters and a copy of fusion, we can just bam, summon our fusion out. Next up, Darkness Force Seeker. If you have 3 or more dark attribute spellcaster type monsters with different levels in your graveyard, send the top 4 cards of your deck to the graveyard. This turn you can only attack with dark attribute spellcaster type monsters. So locking us into dark attribute spellcasters doesn't really matter because our entire deck is that, except for one of our fusions, which we'll go over later. But being able to pump lots of cards into our graveyard just helps most of our effects. A lot of our cards need to have lots of cards in the graveyard or are facilitated by shuffling cards from our graveyard back into the deck. So just being able to fuel that is really, really big. Next up, 7's Road Enchanter. Send the top card of your deck to the graveyard. Return one face-up, non-level 3 spellcast type monster from either side of the field to the hand. Then if you return 7's Magician to the hand with this effect, you can draw one card. Again, kind of a niche effect. We'll see if it actually comes up. We are on 3 copies of Peaking Magician. Level 3, 1200's decent. We send a card from the top of our deck to the graveyard, which again is great for all our effects. Then we excavate 2 cards and put them in any order. That's probably not going to matter because most of the time we're going to be drawing more than one card anyway. But we could put a spellcaster to the top if we want to use one of our other milling effects to put another spellcaster in the graveyard. Next up, 7's Road Mage. This card can fix numbers if we need it to try and attack over some monsters. And then Darkness Rogue, another new card. So you normal summon this card this turn and have no other monsters on the field. We can special summon a Dark Attribute spellcaster monster from our hand, face up to your field, then put this card on the bottom of our deck. So it does suck this card doesn't go to the graveyard, because obviously that's where we want it. But we can use it to special summon 7's Road or Darkness Zero Rogue to fill Zero Rogue's effect requirement, which is pretty good. And then finally 7 Road Wiz. We never expect this effect to go off, but it's a different name, it's dark, and it's a different level, because it's the only level 1 in the deck. Next up, we are on 3 copies of Fusion. We have a lot of Fusion, so we want to be fusing a lot. We have 3 copies of Magical Stream, just Spell and Trap Destruction. Monster Reborn is in here because, again, we are playing a Fusion deck. We want to get back the materials for our Fusion, or we want to bring back the Fusions that we've already summoned and keep using them over and over. Next up, Road Magic Dark Knight, another new card. So if you have a face-up level 7 or higher spellcaster monster on your field, send a Dark Attribute monster from your hand to the graveyard to destroy a monster on your opponent's field. This is a very, very powerful spell, because it doesn't have any requirement of what it can destroy. It destroys anything. So we could use this to destroy Maximum, we can use this to destroy Fusion, we can use this to destroy anything. So it's a really, really powerful card, although its cost is a little bit steep, and its requirement is quite heavy as well. So that's why we're running on the 2 of it. And then we're on 3 copies of Dark Liberation, because Mirror Force is a really powerful card. So this is just 3 Mirror Force, as long as we can shuffle monsters from our graveyard into a deck. Our deck does want to have lots of monsters in the graveyard, but we really can't pass up just wipe your opponent's board. So we're definitely using this card. Next up for our fusions, so we have Master of 7's Road. This is the fusion between 7's Road Magician and 7's Road Witch. And it gains attack equal to the number of Dark Attribute spellcaster type monsters with different names in your graveyard times 300. That's why we're on so many cards with different names. And if you have 7 or more Dark Attribute spellcaster type monsters in your graveyard, this card inflicts Piercing. Again, Piercing is very, very important for Rush Duels. Next up, we are on the 7's Paladin the Magical Knight. This card is a Magical Knight and not a spellcaster, which means it kind of gets screwed over a little bit by Force Seeker's restriction. But this card is a very powerful card because it can gain attack equal to the number of different attributes in our graveyard times 400, which in this deck's only ever going to be dark, so it's only ever going to go up to 33. And it can shuffle 1 card from your graveyard into the deck to draw a card. So just getting an extra card can be useful sometimes, although we cannot summon this just with what we have in the main because the fusion requirement, Roadstar Swordsman, is in the side deck. Finally, our new fusion, Magician of Dark 7. So this is 7's Road Magician and Darkness Zero Rogue, which is a bit annoying because they're 2 level 7 monsters. But this card gains attack equal to the number of Dark Attribute spellcaster type monsters in your graveyard times 300. So they don't have to be different named, they just have to be Dark Attribute spellcasters. That's the entire deck. You take no battle damage from battles involving your other monsters, which means if Alex tries to pierce over or change our battle positions of our weaker monsters and try and get our life points that way, this card basically says, no, you can't do that. You have to deal with Magician of Dark 7s. Really, really powerful card. Hopefully we'll get to see it. The side deck is basically just some extra cards, and we are on Strong Boy 7's Road. The reason this is in the side deck instead of the main deck is that we don't really have room for it. We already have a lot of tribute monsters, and we're basically focusing around fusion and trying to get out our fusion monsters. So having an extra level 7 spellcaster that doesn't facilitate that strategy is just, it kind of gets in the way. This card would be a lot better, in my opinion, in a deck that's revolving around having all the different attributes, and then you'd have it alongside 7's Road Magician, maybe 7's Road Witch, and you wouldn't play any of the Darkness Zero Rogue stuff. But it's an interesting card because if your opponent has 7 or 100 or less life points when you use this effect, you inflict 700 million damage, which is quite a lot. Magic Curtain is a way just to special summon monsters. We have a 3rd copy of Night. We have 3 copies of Darkness Road. This is an interesting one because it can boost our 7's Road Magician up to 2500 attack all the time, which is useful. But again, I think this would be better maybe with the Strong Boy 7's Road. And then 3 traps in case Alex is on a deck that we really need to react to things during his turn. So when your opponent normal summons a monster, all face-up Dark Attribute spellcast type monsters on your field cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects this turn. And if you have 7's Road Magician, which hopefully we will most of the time, in your graveyard, you can change that opponent's normal summon monster to face-up defense position. So if Alex summons some really powerful threat, we can just change it to defense, because the weakness of 7's Road Magician typically is that it on our opponent's turn is only 2100. So we have 1 in the graveyard, 1 on the field. We change Alex's monster to defense, then we can attack over it with our boosted 7's Road Magician on the following turn. So this is the deck we're bringing. Hopefully we can get a win. Hopefully we can get out some fusions. And hopefully we just destroy Alex. last week, if I recall correctly, you completely destroyed me in Character Draft.
I don't know if it was completely destroyed.
Well,
Pretty
game
sure it's
1...
2-1.
Well, yeah. But I believe game 1, I managed to summon my maximum and OTK'd you for like 11,000 damage. And then game 2, you summoned one of your fusions and basically ripped me apart. And then I think in game 3, you summoned the other fusion.
And then ripped
also
you
beat
apart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not great games for me. But let's see if I can do any better this week. So let's fire on in. Alright.
Whoop.
Let's try this. Alright, you get to choose.
I'm going to... That... Ooh. Summon 2. Tribute 2. And end.
Okay, 2,500 attack is pretty big for my deck. I could use this. Okay, basically have to do that. So I could use this to get out this if I want to. What's the benefit of that? Is there any benefit to doing that? You get to save a monster, kind of. Alright. We will normal summon Darkness Rogue. I can then activate its effect and summon out Seven's Rogue Magician by putting him to the bottom of my deck.
Yeah.
Then... Oh, I've actually just seen the big misplay. I just made that. Oh, maybe it's not a misplay. Depends how this works out. So we summon Seven's Rogue Mage, activate Seven's Rogue Mage effect. There we go.
Oh.
Then I think I'll go straight to battle here. We will attempt to attack over. And then get in for 800 with Mage. And then it's your turn.
Okay. Well. Activate Carnival.
Face-up zone type monsters gain attack and defense equal to the number of face-up zombies on the field times 100. Okay.
Set and end.
Okay. We will... Yes. I mean, there's no reason not to fire Seven's Rogue Magician's effect. Get another card in the grave. Then... Running in the grave, we have a... Okay. We'll normal summon Peaking Magician, activate his effect. Then I will set a back row. And do we just go straight to battle here? Yes, we'll go straight to battle.
Excuse me.
We will see if we can get a bit greedy here and attack for 12. And nice. We'll get in for 32.
Yeah.
Pass to you.
And that's game again, because I've got... I can't use any of my back row. I can't. I've got 2 7s in hand. Jeez.
I'd originally thought that you were going to bring zombies next week, so we were going to have like the Aqua Zombie matchup. Alright. This hand's kind of weak. What is the play? I will set, then tribute set.
Okay.
And then going to normal summon out Dark Sorcerer. Go to battle and attack with Dark Sorcerer into your defense monster. Pass to you.
Ghoulish Gal. Shadow Ghoul. Go to battle. Swing over Dark Sorcerer.
Okie dokie.
And
18's not too big, but it might be too big for me right now. Right, we're gonna set and then set 2 back row and pass back.
okay. Okay. Let's see. Purple thing in the mirror.
Okay.
Normal summon. Cyberstone Shrine.
Gives you
Activate
2 monsters
that.
back. Or Rio and Ghoulish Gal.
Activate Surprising Zombie Victory.
If you have 2 or more face-up zombie-type monsters in your field, change the battle position of up to 3 monsters in your opponent's field. Then you can make all face-up zombie monsters on your field gain attack equal to the number of zombie-type normal monsters on your field times 100. Okay.
I will tribute to Dead Ruler. Activate his effect.
Ooh, big damage.
Pitch Dark Lurker to burn you. And then set go to battle.
Okie dokie. Ow. And also ow. 2800 already. Okay, what is play here? I don't have a lot of options. I will... Alright, we're going to normal summon Darkness Force Seeker. Activate its effect. Then top 4 cards of the deck to the grave. Then I will normal summon Darkness Rogue.
It's like, oh, it's a pre-evolved form.
Yeah. I don't have like a huge play to make here, unfortunately. I was planning to use this guy, but it doesn't actually accomplish what I need it to do. Maybe instead we'll fire off Magical Stream, pop one of these back rows. I will then... I just have to set pass, you know.
Ooh.
Yeah, I would have set Darkness Rogue if I had planned ahead a little better.
Okay. Wait. Zombie Carnival. Activate Sacrificial Summon.
One face-up monster with 600 more attack from your field to the graveyard. Special summon an effect monster from your hand. Face up to the field.
Okay.
What is it with you and attacking 2 monsters?
Oh no. It's a valid gripe you have there. Let's hope you don't have
The old hope he doesn't have
Ball. Yeah, there it is.
it. Also, we have Magi Ball. Now I have to work out what the fuck I'm putting back in my deck.
God, bullshit.
You know I love my bullshit. And I guess we'll put the other one. Alrighty then, I guess we will tribute 2, summon 7's Road Magician. Then we can go ahead and fire up his effect. Then I will normal summon Peaking Magician, activate his effect. Then we will tribute 2 to summon 7's Rogue Magician. Activate the effect. Summon out 7's Rogue Mage. Tribute it to summon 7's Rogue Witch. Flip over Fusion. Make a big fusion. Then we can activate Monster Reborn. And just make this insane board.
Hit that now.
Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah, zombies, I don't know. Zombies are a weird one. It's cool they finally got some support, but I feel like they still need another
really
wave.
Bad.
Yeah, I think the big thing is their spell and traps seem really bad. Like, their monsters actually seem alright. Right? Like, 2,500 attack around the board. Gain 1,000 attack. A little bit of burn. The burn's kind of whatever, but, you know, just going up to 3,500 attack is good for a 2 tribute monster, right?
Yeah.
The one that summons 2 from the graveyard is also good. I quite like that. You've also got a monster that counts, that brings back a card from your graveyard to your hand, so you can use one summonable monster as 2 tributes. I think that's all good. I think their field spell isn't bad, Zombie Carnival. It's a bit weird, but it ends up being like a 300 boost, so it's kind of better than like Mountain, stuff like that. But their spell and traps are just, other than like Zombie Carnival, just seem kind of crap. Like that zombie, what was the one that you used, which allows them to change my battle positions and then attack monsters twice. That seems like a good card, but I wouldn't run a playset of it, you know? Like, it feels like you're going to brick on that card more than it's going to be helpful. But it is like a big finisher. It's like, I'm going to play this, change your 2 shitty defenders to attack over both of them with my giant 3,500 attack Dark Skeleton Dead Ruler, and just blow you out of the game.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think especially playing into spellcasters, like, I mean, I'm playing a fully fledged, like, fusion / main character deck, which is obviously always going to have this, like, extra bit of power behind it. But we'll have to see what they do with zombies in the future.